I like the idea of a soulmate. Okay, I just finished watching an anime called Corral Phantom Memory, where the entire premise, the main theme of the anime series was that this being came from another dimension into this one, then split into two. Okay? And the entire arc, the entire way in which she has to try to find her pair, in this case, so they call it a pair rather than a soulmate, it was great. If I sweat a lot, I want you to know this because it's hot in here. I'm not nervous or anything. It's just so, in this video, what we'll be talking about are twin flames. No, not twin flames. I mean, what I want to be talking about is soulmates. I say twin flames because, there's a lot of controversy between the two kinds. It seems to be as if people are trying to level up in the spiritual community. Yes, I've manifested something small. Now I want to manifest a car. Now I want to manifest a holiday. Now I want to manifest a house. Now I want to manifest a twin flame. Now I want to manifest a soulmate. And I can only say this because I used to do the same thing, After I manifested one thing, I'd want to manifest another. And each time, I would discover more and more about those specific things because I manifest it, I experience it, I observe it, my mindset in relation to it, what I'm thinking about during the process of being with the twin flame, or maybe even thinking about seeking out a soulmate. And then by me observing things, I then come to the conclusion of why it is certain things are supposed to be done a certain way, rather than how we think that they're supposed to be done, because that's how we've been taught by the society around us. And now that is why I come to this conclusion of a soulmate. What is it really? And throughout my entire life, I've had so many soulmates. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And the best soulmates that I've had have been friends. Male friends, by the way. I have had some female soulmates, but mainly the reason why they've been my friends is because our souls resonate on a similar frequency. We're into the same things, and because we're into the same things, we tend to want to spend, time around each other, but every now and then we'll disappear. We'll be drawn into two different directions, and we're fine with that. And then we meet up down the line, and we're okay. We're not, thinking, you left me for ages, and I haven't seen you in ages, my friend. And it's because we're not romantically involved. We haven't got this preconceived notion that we have to be tied down together, doing everything together, being too involved. And a lot of time, a lot of people want some space from people when that is often the case. When it comes to soulmates, what I don't really like at all within the spiritual community is the transitional period. I understand it. I understand the transitional period. I'll get to that in a sec, or hopefully if I remember, but what I don't like is when people in the spiritual community are taken advantage of, because we live in a sick society. In a sick society, we all don't feel complete as is because we're always thinking about how incomplete we are. Maybe we want to travel, okay? We want to travel around the world, but we have social anxiety, therefore we hate crowded places. So we don't want to be seen inside of a public airport. But what if you found somebody who didn't have those same insecurities, who were okay around a lot of people? Then, if you could get that person to be with you, now you're going to feel complete, aren't you? Because now you're going to be able to travel with said person. And that's pretty much how it goes, the sick society, the mentally ill society, where they're constantly in their head thinking about how they can't do something. I'm not saying it's their fault, because when we're born, intuitively, we know we can achieve wonders. We do whatever we want. Astronaut, be Fred Flintstone, slide down that dinosaur's tail. You can do whatever you like. But what happens is we face a foe within our experience that suggests that we can't do things by ourselves. Okay? I remember the first person who did this to me was a teacher. I wanted to become an airline pilot. Okay? No, before an airline pilot, I wanted to become a pilot of a jet plane, like in the Independence Day. Will Smith flies one, right? One of those really fast. And at that time, I believed I could do it. Why not? Why not? I could learn everything. Why not? However, every now and then I would get slight slants, slight looks from my teachers that I thought, maybe not. It's kind of expensive. I don't see myself doing it, therefore I don't see you doing it. I don't see myself raising enough money to fund the educational program around flying such a big plane. Therefore, I'm not sure how you're going to be able to do it because I'm judging you, I'm judging your family, I'm judging how much money your mum makes and your dad makes and so forth. I don't think you can do it. Now, obviously, she didn't say that. That'd be quite cruel. But that's often how people think. Into my adult years, I wanted to pick it back up. Right? I wanted to pick it back up. And one of my closest friends actually turned and said to me that I wouldn't get in a plane with you if you were the last person on Earth. Because, I don't know, maybe he had some sort of expectation that I was going to crash the plane. Maybe he's pulling from everything that I failed with in the past, which I just see as all the other attempts which just didn't work, you know? So I keep trying new things till something clicks. At the end of the day, he didn't believe in me, and it kind of annoyed me a little bit. But after distancing myself from that person, I started to pick it back up, only to find out that it's way too bloody expensive to fund those educational practices, you know, when you're inside of the G-force machine and you get spun around over and over and over and over again. Nobody believed in me. But when I decided to believe in myself, that is when I decided to get back on board with wanting to pursue that dream. However, I couldn't afford the funding anymore. So I've wasted pretty much my life for a while because I fell asleep on a dream. I just put it aside because I believed in everyone else's criticisms, and because of this, now I'm just doing this, which I'm okay with. It's kind of pretty cool. It's kind of a full circle type deal. You know, I'm telling you guys a story of how somebody prevented me from living a dream, an expectation of how I want my life to be. And it's because of this that I believe that I was incomplete when it comes to myself. And now it's tying into soulmates, you know? A lot of people who are in that predicament where they feel incomplete are going to look for the nearest possible solution so that they can then become complete. And that is when the media comes in, when it comes to them portraying a heroine figure, saving the damsel in distress and making her feel complete, that classic fairy tale story. However, it's pretty messed up. And a lot of the a lot of the media tends to focus on portraying the character with certain characteristics so that the audience can relate, and that's how, you know, you'll make a good movie. However, what the audience don't do is they don't focus on the other attributes, the other characteristics of the characters within the main storyline. That being, you know, the heroine, the hero. I'm going to say hero because otherwise people may think that I'm talking about something else. The hero, he comes across as brave. He comes across as courageous. You know, he could do anything he wants. However, a person watching that will interpret it and being like, wow, I'm not brave. I'm not courageous. I feel the lack of whilst I'm watching this. Oh, look at the solution. I know how this is going to turn out because I've seen fairy tales within the past. She's going to become complete with this guy. Therefore, she's going to become courageous and so forth. And you'll see her sat on the back of the horse whilst the guy is being that shield, is being that protector, is being that brave guy, and she's just along for the ride, and that makes them complete somehow. No, she's still having to rely on him as a crutch, you see. And so you'll see this portrayed within this program, which is programming people into believing that they need somebody outside of themselves to feel complete. And that's the problem with these main story arcs when it comes to fairy tales that follow the template of a soulmate. You know? So if you're like that, if you've got loads of insecurities that you need to fix, it would be wise to be of that majority of the public that understand that maybe they just feel the lack of, maybe they're not feeling complete as is, maybe they're not getting rid of their insecurities so that they can become that best version of themselves, so that they can travel, so that they can do public speaking or, you know, be an entertainer or whatever it is that they want to do, their highest calling. Maybe you should feel your insides. Your soul, your memory. Your body doesn't forget when you put down these skills, when you adopted these insecurities. It doesn't forget. Go back to that. Remember why it is you felt incomplete. Realize that it had nothing to do with the guy. I mean, think about it. When I was talking about social anxiety, let's say a woman got bullied in school, right? And this girl who got bullied in school, she got made fun out of, ridiculed by people around her, hordes of people. She grew up, and now she's afraid of entering into airports because it's just filled with hordes and hordes of people. It makes her anxious. Therefore, she feels the need to find somebody else outside of herself who isn't anxious around people, so that they can then go on trips together, so that she can be around the world, because her highest calling is to travel, right? Now she feels complete. Well, if we just dial it back, right? Just dial it back. When she was being bullied, that had nothing to do with a guy, did it? No hero figure to save the day and make her feel complete. No. When you push somebody into a corner, one or two things are going to happen. They're going to lash out at you. Or pretty much that's the only thing my mind knows of. They're going to lash out at you. They're going to become their own heroine, right? Their own hero of the story. They're going to overcome their mental illness, their mental resistance between how they think they should be and how the world's telling them that they should be. They're going to overcome that and become stronger, become their own hero. But when do you ever see that inside of a movie? Maybe Spider-Man, Superman, The Flash. Well, The Flash had friends. Yeah. It's too hot in here. You know what I find fascinating is that people will often come to me saying how they're trying to manifest a soulmate, and that they're sitting there and they're feeling what it's like to already have a soulmate. They're imagining their soulmate in a possible future timeline. And I'm watching them with a smile on their face, feeling happy, and yet this guy isn't around. How can you feel complete right now, within that present moment, when that person who's supposed to complete you isn't around? Well, it's because you have all the pieces of the puzzle to feel complete by yourself. It's because of this confusion in believing that other people outside of yourself has to be that solution, the solution to making you whole. It is because of that confusion that you externalize that extra part of yourself in a fantasy, right? And that is why you only feel whole when you're imagining a picture created out of your own consciousness, by the way. So it's like the soul needs to trick itself. The mind needs to trick itself, because the soul is slightly unconscious until it wakes up whilst it's in 3D. So it has to grasp these concepts in order to make itself feel more whole. You know, so it's like your soul is trying to fix itself, and it's doing the best it can with what it's got. But unfortunately, what it's got is this messed up portrayal of what should already be. And you know, again, you don't have to be romantically involved with your soulmate. Okay. I asked for a friend to take me along with him to Australia, because back within the past, I believed I was honestly incapable of traveling by myself. You know, what if I booked the wrong airline ticket? What if I missed my flight? What if I couldn't find a way to get to the airport? All of these insecurities, which really were just meaningless after I decided to sit with myself, realizing, you know what, this guy isn't going to make me whole. He's not going to do everything for me. He probably will, but I'm not going to feel better afterwards. I'm still going to feel incomplete. And I even found myself fantasizing about future potential relationships where the woman has already had experience with traveling, so that she could then fill the gap that I had, so that she can book the airline tickets, so that she can get us there, stuff like that. And I know it sounds bad, but people are actually like this. So what part of this story are you? Are you the kind that has a bunch of insecurities that are looking outside of yourself in order to fill the void? Or are you the kind who gets over it? After realizing my issues, I decided to manifest a vacation to the Bahamas. Okay. Once I got there, I decided to strip away all of the insecurities bit by bit, one of which was the security guy, okay, searching you. And he saw me, and through my mind, I was going through all of these memories where I was watching TV and seeing people on the news getting stopped and getting searched for drugs and so forth. So I was automatically panicking because my mind thought I had a reason to, until I stopped and realized that, wait a second, I don't do drugs. I don't have any drugs on me. I've never been searched for drugs at airports. Why am I freaking out? And then literally each step that I took towards the camera, I was thinking to myself, every time I've been searched, because I had to get into places, or I had to do some sort of documentation, signing and writing out, filling out forms and so forth, it's gone so smoothly because I'm me. I'm not a drug lord. I'm not somebody who can misspell everything on the form, thereby have to keep doing it over and over again and then just get frustrated and throw it out the window and then get chucked out of the airport. No, I'm somebody who's actually fully capable of filling out a form perfectly, of walking through, of holding perfect eye contact, speaking to somebody, conversational skills. Every time within my past, I've done it perfectly. Therefore, what happened was a massive shift happened. All of that positive experience replaced the negative experiences, which never actually happened because those experiences were somebody else's experiences that I had seen on TV. Therefore, that disproved the belief that I was going to freak out or get searched. My stress levels dropped. I walked in. The guy, I kid you not, okay, didn't even open my passport. Just looked at it, cool, and gave it to me. Didn't even stamp it or anything. Said, welcome back, you know? And since then, I've realized that my life, how I am, my vibration, which deals with my thinking, not what I've seen other people think, thereby make them act, erratically and just crazy. My thinking, who I am, is actually better. And it's more stressless. My lifestyle is great because of it. Now, what's really cool is each time I did this, with any situation, I felt more and more complete. More and more complete. More and more and more complete. Therefore, I found myself not thinking about getting somebody else outside of myself to do something for me. I got addicted to this behavior and I started doing everything by myself. Okay? And then one day a friend of mine says, don't you get lonely by yourself? No. I'm fine as I am. I'm fine. Be complete by yourself. You come into this world complete, So yeah, this is going to be about doing it. This is my 2 cents on what a soulmate actually is. Why it is that you resonate so closely with other people. What a soulmate really is. You're a soul. You're a reflection of everyone. You are everyone having an individual experience when you feel like somebody else because you're into the same things. You're resonating on the same frequency. Thereby, they are your soulmate and so forth. That is what a soulmate actually is. They're not bound by a physical relationship when it comes to romanticism. Romanticy? Is that even a word? You get what I mean, right? And no, they are not somebody who is coming into the world incomplete, therefore trying to find their pair, or in other words, their soulmate. The world doesn't work like that, and I'm grateful it doesn't. I'm Ryan James Cropper. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a comment below if you've met your soulmate, your true soulmate. Maybe any stories about twin flames even. Or drop a comment below if you want me to make a video on something else. Maybe an idea that you have floating around in your head. Subscribe to see that video, and I'll speak to you guys pretty soon. Peace.